GPA in liberal arts and sciences. And what page is that found on? 429. Okay, and what is the overall unit requirement? 120, that's correct. And what page is that found on?
87.
89 on that one, that's the wrong page number. All right, and what is the upper division unit requirement? 40, also found on page 89. Okay, television, film, and new media major with emphasis in critical studies. What type of degree? BS degree in applied arts and sciences. What page?
455.
455. Oh, yeah, yeah, absolutely. Sorry about that, I was misunderstanding. However, having said that, so the question was, can we look at the chart on pages 102 and 103? But keep in mind, as we move forward, I'm also going to be asking other questions about the major itself. So the upper division required in the major will come next. So it might be helpful, for sure you can look in 102 and 103, but then it's going to be helpful to be going to that major part in the catalog. Okay. So TFN with the emphasis in critical studies is a BS degree in applied arts and sciences. And then what is the overall unit requirement? 120. And what's the upper division unit requirement?
45.
45. Perfect. Public administration major? It's a BA degree in applied arts and sciences. What's the overall unit requirement? 120. And upper division unit requirement? 40. Perfect. All right. Any questions on that? Yes.
I have a question, I don't know that we really need to know this, but how they determine whether it's like a Bachelor of Science or like a BA, BS or BA?
So how it's determined what type of degree it is based on the major?
Yeah, like,
Is that-
I think I would assume that like television, film, and media would be like a BS versus like, you know, other things. I was just wondering how that's determined. Just random thought.
Yeah. No, that's okay. Well, the colleges ultimately decide. So they're split up into colleges of sciences, colleges of arts, colleges of PSFA, and then they ultimately are deciding. So I think it goes through like a big curriculum vetting committee and all sorts of things that are way above my pay grade. But so. Yeah, I'm not really sure necessarily how to answer that question, but I do know that I need you guys to be able to find what goes with what. Does that make sense? Perfect. Yes?
What I've noticed too, that traditionally Bachelor of Arts have a language requirement where sciences do not too.
Bachelor of Liberal Arts
Right.
versus Applied. But yes, that's definitely a difference. And then if you were really interested, you could kind of dial down and look at the types of classes, and you might start to see some themes with a major that's in a college of a Bachelor of Arts versus a Bachelor of Science. And there's also, you're going to see a difference between Bachelor of Arts in Applied Sciences and Bachelor of Arts in Liberal Sciences. So a little bit of difference right there too. Any more questions on that? Awesome, great question, thank you. Okay. We are going to move on. Oh, we already did that. All right, we're going to move on to residence requirements. So we're going to flip to page 90. So we just went over requirement number 6, so now we're looking at requirement number 7, which is residence requirements. So this is referring to unit requirements that you have to complete with courses taken here at SDSU, so in residence. That's why we call them residence requirements. So in other words, you can't transfer in 110 units from UCSD and take 10 units at SDSU and actually earn a degree from SDSU. Okay? It seems simple, but there's a reason we had to put it in the catalog. Okay, does that make sense? Okay, all right. Okay, so this is a minimum number of units that must be completed at SDSU. So there's a minimum 30 units total of which 24 units must be upper division. Half of upper division units required for the major, no less than 12. If a minor, then 6 upper division units in the minor, and then 9 units of GE courses. Does that make sense? Good, okay. Yeah.
For GE, is that lower and upper division?
It's 9 units in GE. So most students will end up taking just their 9 units of upper division, and that will be their required 9 units of GE. But there's gonna be some, like, very few exceptions. If a student comes in and already actually has an upper division, like maybe they transferred from another CSU, they just need 9 units of GE at SDSU. Yes?
And then those 9 units, GE also double count for the minimum amount of units?
Yeah, this is all within
Okay.
the minimum. Uh-huh. Does that make sense to everybody? Perfect. Okay. We're gonna move on to the next requirement. So we're gonna go to requirement number 8, which is grade point average requirement. So there are 4 different types of grade point averages, so we refer to these as GPAs. And each must be a 2.0, which is a C average, in order to graduate. So there is the SDSU GPA, which is the grade point average based on all courses taken at SDSU. There is the cumulative GPA, which is the grade point average of all courses taken at SDSU and all transferable courses taken at other universities and community colleges. There's the major GPA, which is the grade point average of all courses in the upper division major. And there's the minor GPA, so the grade point average of all courses going towards the minor if a minor is being completed. So, to remain in good academic standing, the cumulative in the SDSU GPA must remain a 2.0 or higher. If the cumulative or the SDSU GPAs fall below a 2.0, then a student is placed on academic probation. While you need the 2.0 GPAs to stay in good academic standing and to graduate, we definitely want to be encouraging students to do as best as possible and to strive for higher GPAs. And this is because all majors at SDSU are impacted, and many of them require a higher GPA in order to be admitted into the major. So we'll discuss in a few weeks exactly what impaction is, but even though, we just want to keep in mind that even though the minimum is 2.0, we want students to be striving for much higher than those 2.0 GPAs. So does anyone know where you could find your own GPA?
Degree evaluation.
Degree evaluation, and you could also see that on the unofficial transcript. So we'll see those in a future session.
Other questions?
Yes.
Can you define the major GPA again, please?
Yes. The major GPA is the grade point average based on all upper division courses taken for the major. That's a good question. Yes.
Is your major GPA found on the degree evaluation as well?
Yes.
Okay.
Only if you started taking courses in the upper division major, it will be listed.
So it's, okay,
It's just the upper division major
okay.
that it's calculating.
Good to know, because I went to go look for it the other day and I couldn't find it on my degree evaluation, but I just started upper division. So maybe
Yeah,
I
so
should
if you're
find
in
it.
progress, it won't register that you have a GPA until those grades roll. And then if you go back and look at the eval after this semester, after the grades roll, you'll be able to see what your major GPA is.
Good to know, thank you.
That's a great question. Any other questions? Yes.
So for the majors that require a specific GPA, a specific major GPA in like their prerequisite classes,
Mhm.
does that GPA get counted towards your upper division
No.
classes?
No,
Okay.
that's an impaction GPA,
Okay,
which is different than the upper division GPA.
okay.
So when we say major GPA, we're actually referring to the upper division GPA, and that's what's gotta be a 2.0 minimum in order to graduate. When we say impaction GPA, we're actually referring to a different GPA. And when we go over impaction criteria, and I think it's either next week or the week after, we'll go much more in depth into that.
Okay.
Any other questions? Yes?
Does a major GPA show up if you're taking like upper division major courses but are not officially in the major, like you're still pre-major?
So on your degree evaluation, as long as you're in the major, most majors you can't actually take upper division courses until you're done with the pre-major. So most students that are in a pre-major haven't actually been allowed to start taking upper division courses. And in the rare instances that that may occur, any upper division courses that you've taken for the major that go towards the major will be listed on your degree evaluation in that area. Does that make sense? Any other questions? Okay. All right. Should we take a break? Do a 5-minute break? Okay, great. So